Alright everybody, let's look at question 4. This is a straight line. They're giving us a midpoint and they're asking us to find one of the endpoints, and then they ask us to use some of that information to create an equation of a line, it looks like. So let's read the question, see what we can do with it. The diagram shows a straight line L1. Points A, -9, -1. M has coordinate points -3, 2. And C, they don't give us those coordinate points, but all three of them lie on the line L1. M is the midpoint of AC. They want us to find the coordinates of point C. Okay, so let's go ahead and label these. Points A is -9, 1. So A right here is -9, 1. Point M is -3, 2. And point C, we don't know what it is, but let's call it x2, y2. So we usually call, when we're talking about the midpoint, our formula is the average of the x's, x1 plus x2 over 2, and y1 plus y2 over 2. This is our midpoint formula. Now we can use the midpoint formula to solve this, but I think it might be a little easier if we look at it conceptually first. I think it might actually be even quicker, to be honest, to solve it this way, but let's give a look. Here we're at -9. If we're looking at coordinate point A, it has an x value of -9, and coordinate point of M, the x coordinate, is -3. So we ask ourselves, like, how far do we need to go in the x direction to go from the x value of -9 to -3? Well, we need to go +6, and if we're at point 1 right here, actually I think this should be -1 looking at it again. If we're at point -1 and we want to go up to 2, we have to go up a value of 3. And this gets us halfway there. This is the midpoint, the halfway point between A and C. And if we carry this process forward, we can say, okay, well now we're at point M, and we're at this x value of -3. And since this is the half value, if we want to go the whole way there, we would need to go another 6 across. And if we're at 2 and we want to go, well, the whole way there, again, we would have to go up 3. So extending this forward, what can we say? To go from -9 to -3, we go, well, 6 to the right. And this takes us halfway there, so if we're at -3 and we want to go, well, the whole way there, I guess, to C, we would need to go another 6 to the right. So -3 plus 6, that's going to take us to +3. And similar idea, if we are at this -1, we need to go +3 to get to 2, that's up 3, and that takes us halfway there. We're now at a y value of 2, we need to go another 3 plus 3 to get to, well, the endpoint here. So 2 plus 3 would give us 5, and that would be our coordinate point of C. C is equal to, C is equal to 3, 5. C is equal to 3, 5. Yeah, I can keep it green. That's fine. Alright, I guess more algebraically, x1 plus x2 is equal to the midpoint, the x-coordinate of that midpoint value. So we know that the x-coordinate, let's just write it out, M, they told us, is -3, 2. That's this value right here. And we know that the x-coordinate is -3 and the y-coordinate is 2. So our midpoint formula tells us that x1 plus x2 over 2 should equal -3. And we know x1. We know x1 is -9 plus, and we don't know x2. We don't know what it is. So -9 plus x2 over 2, but this is the midpoint. It should be equal to -3. Again, we can do a little algebra here. Multiply both sides by 2. We'll have -9 plus x2 is equal to -6. Bring this -9 over to the other side, and we will have x1 is equal to 3. That's good so far. Same idea. If we're dealing with our y-coordinates, let's get all of this stuff away. We're dealing with our y-coordinates right here. y1 plus y2 over 2 should equal, in this case, 2. So y1 is this value right here, this endpoint. y1 is -1 plus y2. y2 we don't know what it is, right? It's that endpoint. But we know the average of it is going to be equal to 2. Again, simplify, multiply both sides by 2 to get rid of this fraction on the bottom. and then we're going to have y2. Bring this over. It's going to become positive. 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. So x1 is equal to 3. Sorry, this should be x2 rather. Oops. x2 is equal to 3. y2 is equal to 5, and we get this coordinate point of C once again, which is 3, 5. And that should be reassuring because that's what we found earlier. Okay, let's see how much space we have here, whether it's possible to keep going. Line L2 is perpendicular to L1 and passes through point M. Let's write this on a new page.